Hey everyone, welcome back to Birth Podcast. I'm Ash. I'm going to take you to Gaza today, and we're going to meet Aysar. I met him in the heat of the 50-day war in Gaza in 2014. He worked with journalists and NGOs to translate, transport, and help us unfold the destruction of his homeland. Today we're still friends, and last year when the attacks bombarded Gaza again, he left me a haunting message as he moved his family out of their home only to follow them the next day. Recently I called him up and checked in on him, and I wanted to see how he was doing, and I wanted to give you a picture directly of not just the struggle, but the hope that keeps him going. So listen in to our conversation. I will put links to reach him in the description box, and I hope that you will take conversations into your communities about Israeli occupation, about Gaza, about the resistance of the oppressed, about the violence of the oppressor. These are all themes that come in to our conversation. So join us.
Actually, yeah. I was at the barber shop today. You could see more, but yeah, I stay here. I'm becoming old. And you know, in Gaza, you grow up in a year. You grow up a couple of years, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I
But
do know what you mean. How was the pandemic there? How was COVID treated at that time?
it was treated very well, to be honest, but from the official institutions, governmental, local NGOs, international NGOs. A lot of supplies came into Gaza to face the pandemic, but the problem was that the people didn't take it so seriously. Yeah, like a lot of people were taking it seriously, but many others didn't take the pandemic seriously, because it's like they think, okay, there are many reasons to die in Gaza besides the pandemic. So,
Okay.
you know what I mean? They just don't care.
Were there a lot of Palestinians who died? A lot of people who lost family during the pandemic because of this?
Yeah. There are tens in Gaza. I believe hundreds in the West Bank. I don't have the exact number. Yeah, there were people who were there were people who were died from the pandemic, of course, like old people, even sometimes young people. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
But we are sorry that this happened to the world. I mean, a lot of it's, and for us as Gazans, we feel the things that cause pain for others. You know what I mean? So if some war happened somewhere in the world, we feel the people there who suffer because we have experienced that. So
suffering.
Exactly. Yeah. So we feel the other people the other countries who lost a lot of people. We know how it's painful to lose a lot of people. It doesn't matter the reason. A lot of people lost their beloved ones from COVID, so that was bad too. I hope we can meet again in a peacetime, not in a wartime. Hopefully one day.
I do too.
Despite there are no promising indicators for that to happen, right?
It's like we have to hold on to hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the thing I love most about Palestinians, Iraqis are very much the same, many Lebanese, Middle Eastern. There's a lot of hope because you have to. It's like you don't have a choice but to have hope.
Yeah, exactly. We have to generate hope from nothing, because otherwise we will suffer more than what we do in the reality. The hope keeps everything better than losing ourselves on the darkness of sadness and being hopeless. That's bad. We Palestinians get used to generate hope from nothing. During the tens of years we have been suffering from the occupation, It's kind of our a good skill that we have now.
Yes, a skill. I mean, it's a sad skill, but it is a skill, and there's some beauty in that too, right?
Mm.
What are some of your earliest memories growing up in Gaza? Because you would have been young. You would have been young when it was closed off. So, what are some of your first memories of growing up?
My first memories of growing up, I want to be very honest about it. I was like in the last year of the school, the graduation year of the school. I was 18 years old, and that was the time that I started smoking, actually. So directly after Hamas took control over Gaza, the cigarettes prices were doubled like 200%. So I said, "Come on, it's cigarettes." and then later, the gas went so expensive, like benzene, diesel, and the cooking gas, many other things as well. So I grown up in a situation where the siege just has started at the beginning years of the siege on Gaza. So we have to. I actually lost a scholarship to Russia to go to study dentistry, and then after, because when the siege started, the Rafah border was closed for almost 1 year, so I lost it, and I lost the visa. But in that year, I was already finishing my first year in the business administration college. So I said to myself, I will finish my bachelor degree, then I leave for master degree. That was my plan, but that didn't happen. And then yes, we passed through the wars. A little bit after starting growing up, we started the wars. 2008, 2009. It was one war, but it started that December. And then the 2012 war, 2014, 2021. The last one was so bad. All the wars are bad, but yeah, the last one was kind of different in the way of extensive bombing. Extensive bombing. There was no land invasion, but they were bombing very badly. We were all shocked, to be honest. We were all shocked. And I have a special experience about the last war. When the Israeli army decided to make this, they call it حزام النار, اللي هو يعني fire zone, to conduct a fire zone over Hamas tunnels. It was kind of a trick. They actually made some maneuvers to let the armed forces in Gaza to believe that they will make a land invasion. So they go inside the tunnels to face the land invasion. So the Israelis come to bomb the tunnels. It's like a trap, like a big trap. They plan to kill hundreds of the fighters of the resistance. At that night they started the bombing. I was at my home, which actually close to the north borders of Gaza with the Israeli side. So it's the place where they tended to do the trick, that the invasion will happen like northwest. I was living I live north. So so they started with a lot of shelling from tanks, and we thought that okay, it's just chilling. They will not go for a land invasion. We didn't believe that. But then they started bombing with 160 fighter jet, throwing around 450 bomb in Gaza in 30 minutes. Yeah, concentrated in northwest Gaza, and I was there at home alone, because my mother and my brother left the home because they thought there will be a land invasion, and we had an argument. My mom for me to leave as well. Then I told her, let's not move all together. You go with the
Right.
car, and I follow you tomorrow, because if they bomb the car, we will all die. Let's separate, And then I spent that night, and it was terrible. Yeah, it was very terrible. Then next day morning, I left. I went inside the middle of the city to my grandmother's house, but then because there are no place safe, another fire zone the Israeli army conducted in Al Wahda Street. It was very bad. They killed 50 people on that night, and it was all like, I can say it was close to where I went, thinking that it's a safe place. Yeah, that's the last
I
one.
remember you sent me a message. The day you were driving to your grandmother's house, and you had said to me that you had sent your mother and your brother ahead of you. I remember you had said that.
Yeah, I wasn't driving, leaving to my grandma's house. I went on feet, like walking.
Oh, you went by foot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of walking and running and getting there. So, I mean,
Yeah.
people don't realize that Gaza is actually bigger than we think it is, right? Like Gaza, it's a small space closed in, but like to get from one side to the other, like it takes a lot. If you're to walk, it takes a lot. Like you need your car to get from place to place.
Especially when you are running away from rockets.
You have worked with NGOs and journalists and you have done different jobs since you. What made you continue that journey rather than, say, joining the resistance or joining Hamas, or what made you decide not to do that and continue in a different way?
I understand you. I do believe that as a Palestinian, as occupied country, occupied people have been living under siege, under bad circumstances that caused by the Israeli enemy. We have to resist using all the ways of resistance. Some people go to join the resistance, the military movement. They act how they feel they should resist. Many others decide to just be a good person who give help to others. Decide to treat people well, for instance. I decided that if I can do a good change in my community, if I can help other people thinking the right way, advising others, and thinking about staying in Palestine, just staying in Gaza, it's bad. To live in Gaza, it's the very bad circumstances of living. But to decide to stay in Gaza and do what communities do, to live, to have hope that the occupation will end someday, and all the efforts that done by all the Palestinians, the way they resist all together, would push the Israelis out of our homeland one day. We don't know how exactly, but I decided to resist my own way and to be an effective, good person who help others in my community. This is the way I thought that I'm resisting, having hope and giving hope to the other. Shooting would be fun. I don't know. I didn't try, but I didn't decide that for myself.
Do you think that there are more options now? Do you think that a lot of younger people are trying to create, I see stories sometimes about young Gaza people who are trying to get creative, take care of the environment, do artwork, start new businesses, do these things to try and help build up the community. Do you see that more and more among people who are coming out of university or who are, in their 20s and 30s, who are trying to make life bearable. What are some things that your friends are doing or that you have done that have helped to make the community more sort of peaceful for yourselves, even though you are still having to deal with the oppression?
There are many groups of youth who did very nice intellectual entrepreneur things. Some of them open some kind of business, like a small restaurant, like a barber shop, like whatever. They gather together their savings, they gather their skills and do something. Some other guys focus on sports, like being interested in sports, doing sports a lot, going to the clubs, taking their children to the clubs, attending the match, the football matches in Gaza League. We have a league in Gaza and couple of two small stadiums that people go there for fun. They cheer for their teams. There are also a lot of activities that youth use it to help other people, like to collect clothes, for example, from the people, that if you have extra clothes, you can bring them to these guys and they give it to people in need for clothes. People in need, they need a lot of things. So
what does a day look like for you? What does like a typical day right now look like for you?
Because I don't have a job now, unfortunately. The last time I have worked with Save the Children for 7 months. It was like a small period contract, and now it's been 3 months that I'm without a job. So for everyday activity, I apply for any kind of job that I see I would fit in it. I apply for jobs. I look for like any other work I would be able to do. You hear the adhan, huh?
I do. I love it. I miss it.
So and because life is very boring, I try to have fun somehow. There are not many fun things to do in Gaza, but at least I meet my friends. I go to the beach to swim. I like swimming. It's kind of also hard to enjoy to the max when you have like big issues, like not having a good job. So yeah, so it's
you're the oldest in your family, yeah? You're the oldest boy?
Yeah, I am. And now I live with my mother and my brother.
Okay.
My brother works as a technician for fixing networks, and my mother doesn't work. I have other two brothers in Turkey. They live there, they work there, also younger than me. And my sister, I have a sister who's married with two nice daughters.
So you get to be an uncle.
Yeah. I do my uncle job sometimes. I love them. I love to play with them, make them laughing.
I love that too. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything that you really want people to know about the situation right now with Hamas and the Israelis and dealing with these things? Because it always seems that the people suffer.
They do. Actually, they do. The people in Gaza are suffering since years, since decades of many reasons. The occupation and the siege, and they have been living with this, trying to beat it all the time, doing whatever. Now the economic situation is bad. The political situation. There are a lot of poverty now in Gaza, to be honest. Now, after the COVID, the problems that were caused by the pandemic and the war between Russia and Ukraine, and the prices of the main products, the main food products are going high now. This also affected the people in Gaza because it's also the prices of bread, of wheat, of oil, of gas went high. So like generally from 20 to 30% in many goods, in many necessary goods. So this is bad for the people who are already suffering for many reasons, especially economic Gaza. Now, Gazans, the political situation. Now, after the last war, there are a kind of understanding here that another war is also easy to happen because the Israelis are provoking the war. Israelis are not stopping the violence against Palestinians in the West Bank, in Jerusalem, in Gaza. And that would make the war happen. So, these feelings all together makes things hard for Gazan people. Understand that, for example, the economic problem in the world, it's a worldwide problem. Many countries all over the world now, they are suffering from the economic issues that brings the prices high. Like in the US, the gas is becoming more expensive, right? Other things also in Europe, also in other communities in Asia, in Africa. We feel for the poor people who wouldn't be able to buy their necessary things somewhere in Africa, somewhere in Asia. We suffer the same.
Right.
The world is crazy. The world is crazy. They are making wars and problems that that makes the whole world lives worse and worse. We don't need that. We don't need that. Nobody needs that.
Well, I appreciate that.
Sure.
You just talk to me about stuff. It's good, and it's such a pleasure to see you and know that you're okay, at least for now. And but I think the beautiful thing about the Palestinian people in Gaza is that you make life work anyway.
Exactly. This is it. Yeah. We have to.
Of course.
And we are becoming good in that. We are becoming good in that. Occupation will end someday. That's for sure.
I'm glad you have that hope.
Yeah. Everyone in Gaza, they feel that.